You're watching the Rhoda Wilson Show, and we're delighted to be back again with a brand new series. For the next few weeks, we'll be talking to great guests who are looking to inspire you by telling you all about themselves and their businesses. Also, we have a new section called Opinion Point. This is where the Rhoda Wilson Show is on the streets of London, asking the public for their opinions on various questions. So stay tuned. Now, Ogunte is Leadership and Management Support Program for Women, and Servane Mouazan is here to tell us all about it. Servane, is that the right way to pronounce your name?
Yes, it is, absolutely.
Okay, welcome to the Rhoda Wilson Show. Nice to have you. What is Ogunte? What is the organization? What is it all about?
Ogunte is the organization for women leading the social economy, and by that I mean women who really create change in small communities or globally. And they might do that through social enterprises, through networks, through campaigns as activists, or as part of big corporations, for instance.
Yes. I mean, what was the initiative behind this? I mean, has it been always, I suppose what I'm trying to find out is, why did they set it up? I mean, surely there must be several organizations out there that caters for women's leadership and needs.
There are organizations that do women in leadership, women in business, women in community group or voluntary work, but none of them do all that work together.
Okay.
So we really tackle the business side of it, or how to make women sustainable and not creating more poverty.
How do you do that? How do you go about doing that?
Well, we do a lot of what they call training. I'd like to call it more coaching, or more offering a platform where women can learn to think for themselves and create their own solutions. So a lot of coaching and learning programs, that's the better word. Learning programs, loads of networking, that's absolutely crucial. And some recognition programs as well with awards.
Really? Yeah. What is that all about? What kind of awards do you...
Well, we've got two streams. One stream is for women who've led the way already, who have completed some great things and achieved things. They're called the Women's Social Leadership Awards. And these women, for instance, have run voluntary programs, so they've created new networks to help out whatever it is. There's a lot of things, different things they can have. They help, for instance, to set up early arts projects, which are educational programs to help people who raise children through arts, for instance. We've got women who work on dyslexia. We've got women who work on children's rights, for instance, what families break down, to make sure that children are listened to. So all these women have put networks together, and are comfortable in talking in public, gather champions around them, and make things move forward. Change policies. And we want to recognize that. And these are women who can prove that they have a social impact. This is very important.
But who decided these awards?
Well, we've got a jury of fierce women who know what they're talking about. They come from the press, they come from the corporate environment, they come from the voluntary sector. They've got really strong opinions, and we've got very strict selection or criteria to make sure that people really can demonstrate that they're
capable,
and that really make a difference. It's not so much about talking about it, it's really demonstrating and giving evidence.
It's the actions they put behind their words, isn't it, that you look out for?
Action and measurable actions. That's how people then will listen to you and say, well, actually, I can see how you made a difference.
Okay, but is this, I mean, because I'm thinking, what kind of, I suppose anybody that wants to organize a social enterprise can be nominated for this, or who gets nominated?
Well, women can nominate themselves, or their good friends, or someone from their staff or their network can do the work for them. Again, it's quite tricky when someone else does that job, because they really have to demonstrate how women have made a difference. All the criteria on a website, and we're always happy to have conversations with people to see how they could work towards it.
But that's good. I mean, this Ogunte Foundation, has it always been? Is it a foundation or is it?
It's a company. It's a normal company.
Yeah. Has it always been in the UK, or because I mean?
No, we
were just discussing the name, weren't we?
Yeah.
We just said, what was
Ogunte, it's to make the story very short, it's a female spirit.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm sure there are many places we can see more about that name, but basically it started in the Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
I started in the Netherlands. And when I was helping people in...
so you started it?
Yes, I did. Yes.
You? Oh, wow, there you are, okay.
We did a lot of work around community development, and also a lot of work with media and all sorts of cultural activities that it's easier to, to convey a message by having, great shows or great, performing arts activities, so it's always easy. And then gradually it became more focused on women. God knows why. Maybe because they love the pictures on the website. I don't know. But at some point, you really got to cater for people who are staying around, and it just seemed that there was a majority of women interested in the work we were doing. So I said, well, actually, maybe there's something in it. So we really focused on them and listened to them and worked with them.
Wow. So you've gone from the Netherlands to the UK.
Yes.
And where else have you, were we talking about your work in Brazil as well?
Did a lot of work in Brazil. This is where I met a great mentor of mine, who was also very active in social activism. And also happened to be a great artist and musician. And it was a great way for him to convey his messages through music. And I learned a lot from him.
Okay.
And I did a lot of work with him afterwards, so it's great. It's great to have a wide network.
But that's good. I mean, in terms of going back to women, what do you think some of the main issues are for women in social enterprise? Because I mean, you probably know more of this because you're right in the front of all the challenges they come across.
Women have got great passion for what they do on the social side, and I would say, unfortunately, sometimes we need to push the enterprise side of things, the business side of things. It's like as if you're combining two jobs. Yeah. Your campaigning job, the awareness raising job, and also the business side, and it might not be very glamorous at time, where you got to look at finances and how to make your team and your activities sustainable. Yeah. And you've got to eat yourself as well. You can't create more poverty. You've got to be sustainable yourself to be able to then help others. Women sometimes forget to pay themselves. I was reading this morning that the contribution that women are making in through housework or community contributions worth $11 trillion. So ladies, it's time to
start charging, that's it.
Put your invoices together, pay back time. It's time to be a bit more rigid about that.
But doesn't you think that is because, I mean, growing up as a child, I was brought up partly in Nigeria when I spent most of my early years in Nigeria. And when I was growing up, although my dad was quite strict in that all the women went to school, everybody went to school. But most of the time, many of women, I'm sure nowadays, it's like, not nowadays, but in those days, it's like they always feel that the woman has to be at home. She has to be the one that cares. She has to be more submissive. She has to be the one that takes care of the family. So therefore, most women probably just feel that,
don't question that.
They don't question that. Whereas they should stop and say, hey, I should be paid for this, or I should get some form of reward for it, Yeah. And we take that into our businesses. And maybe this is why you don't have many, I suppose, women in a board of directors, really, because most women just feel...
Well, there are probably different reasons why they don't want to go and mix into that environment. Yeah. Or they don't want to play, the tough guy, because they're women. Obviously, that's not going to happen. What I would say is maybe the first step is to look at all the skills you put in your work at home. If you stay at home, you're a manager. You've got not staff, but you've got a team, the kids, the significant others, the neighbors, the family, and you've got to manage all this. You can't have it all, running randomly in your house. Look at the skills you've got: leadership skills, you've got management skills, you've got time management skill as well. When you've got to deal with bringing kids at school, you've got to, you can't just invent yourself a new rota, you've got to stick with it. So you've got prioritization skills, you've got all sorts
You've
of
got all those
skills.
skills that you probably don't realize are skills, which are actually organization skills you have. These are skills that are actually in the
Financial
workplace.
skills.
Financial skills. That,
Exactly.
because you manage the domestic
Course.
budget,
Yep.
really, because you make sure, okay, this person gets food,
Yep.
this money is spent on clothes for the
Yep.
kids and so on
Or
and
not.
so forth.
Yeah.
Or not. They can go to school with just whatever
Yeah, and we've got cash flow. Is the cash flow okay? What's
Yeah.
the forecast like?
Yeah.
Sometimes the jargon is terrifying,
Yeah.
but when you see what things are, really,
Yeah.
the skills and the talent you put in
Yeah.
this organization, which is your house or
Yeah.
your family, start your business.
It is. But, I
business.
mean, because what you're saying is so right, because I find that with the social enterprise, I'll probably say more of them are started up by women.
Yeah.
And they need that leadership skill to go and get what they want.
Yeah.
And this is one thing we're going to cover in because we're going to take a break in shortly. So don't go away. We're going to talk about how women can get what they want in terms of funding, say what they want, and go for it, and put it down in a way that the funders can understand and they can help them as well.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that when we come back from the break. So please do not go away.